Light it up, boys. Light it up.
I could not believe how many fish we were marking on the sonar. It was absolutely wild. And it didn't take us long to start putting some walleye in the boat. On the first day, we got our 6-rod trolling spread out. We had 3 planer boards each side with some Bandit deep divers, and we started loading up the live well with some nice walleyes. Anywhere from 20 to 28 inches was our biggest on day 1.
Yeah, look at that son of a bitch.
Nice walleye.
Lake Erie walleye. Woo!
Oh, chartreuse and orange. Got 3 planer rods set up. Fish number 8.
The walleye planer board setup was definitely different than the typical Sea Striker planer boards that we typically use in the ocean. These planer boards actually take your line and spread them outwards. So that way you're creating a trolling spread, getting out 60, 80, 100 feet on each side, while at the same time dragging those Bandit deep divers instead of using an outrigger system.
Come on, fish.
And we were trolling at a whopping 1.4 knots, which was driving me crazy because it felt like we weren't going anywhere compared to the usual 7 knots that were pulling some ballyhoo. We ended up with a nice catch for our first day. Kind of worked out some kinks and got the hang of it. It was the first time I've ever been walleye fishing like this, so it was a little bit of a learning curve for the crew, but we ended up doing pretty well. Some of the other guys that went with us did awesome. As you can see, we brought all the rigs back to the cabins, cleaned our fish out at the cleaning station. We had a cabin on this lake that was stocked with some bass and bluegill and all kinds of stuff, so did a little bit of fishing. One of the guys ended up catching a nice largie, and had a full bar fridge and hung out for some fishing stories and cooked some dinner. Day 2, the wind was howling, so we decided to take it easy until it was supposed to lay out in the afternoon. We headed into Port Clinton, hit up a liquor store, load up, as you can see, and then we went over to one of the tackle shops just to kill some time. As you know, you never have enough fishing gear. It was incredible to see the fishery that Lake Erie is, with the big walleye, big smallies. It's an awesome place to fish. We were kind of faced with a mud line while we were there due to the high winds, but we made it work, and we just had to work around the weather. Because the muddy water was a couple degrees warmer, the fish were stacked up in the mud. We just had to find the fish that could actually see the lures and get those ones to bite.
Number 2.
Let me get him out of this. Give me some pliers. They're getting smaller.
Nice. Walleye number 3.
We made a couple moves throughout the day just to see if we could find a little bit better bite going on somewhere else in the lake, but it was pretty much the same everywhere. You just had to get that lure in front of those fish. The water was extremely muddy, and there was just nothing you could really do about it except for putting your time in on the water. For as windy as it was on day 2, we caught some fish. Not a ton, but we did put some fish in the boat. Headed back in, and then we got up early the next morning for day 3, which was supposed to be the best day. The wind was supposed to lay flat. We got an early start and headed out with the crew. Day 3, the wind finally cooperated with us, and it was game on. We were about to put some fish in the boat.
Yep. Oh, there he is. Get ready, Jake. Barely hooked. Nice. Walleye.
There's a fucking method to the madness, isn't it?
What's that? Number 3?
It's number 3, dude.
I could not believe the sonar the whole time we were there, marking as many fish as we did, from top to bottom. The entire time the sonar was lit up.
There you go, boys. Flag down. Flag down. Flag down. Flag down.
You got the video? There you go.
I think the other ones are down too. I think we got doubles. Number 2 is, huh? I think so. What do you think?
I think that middle one happened.
What Jay was referencing when he said flag down, basically you're dragging those crankbaits along and there's a little bit of slack right there at the planer board. So when a fish jumps on and comes tight on that crankbait, it actually pulls that flag down, and that's your signal instead of the reel typically taking drag if you're doing trolling for anything else. The flag will go down, the planer falls behind the rest of the planers in the spread, and you know you have a fish on.
Time limit of walleyes, Lake Erie, April 24. 18.
We did one last fish count at the end of the day, and we also bled them. It makes a huge difference in the quality of the meat after you bleed the fish out. We all got together at the end of the day, shared some stories on what was working, what was not working, where the fish were. There was guys fishing all over the lake from our group, and we headed out to get an early start the next morning. Jay's 23 Sportsman handled the waves really well on the last day. The wind picked up to 20 to 30 knots, but we still scraped together a nice catch of fish for the final day. And the best part of it was our buddy Hunter ended up finishing second in the NWT Walleye tournament. He put an awesome show on, and we were happy to see him do well. If you want to check out some more fishing content and follow along this year's fishing trips, check out Obsidian Fishing on Instagram and YouTube, and I'll see you guys on the water.